Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Freddy Krueger is back, and he has a whole new host of kids to terrorize in their dreams. Robert Englund stars in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Sleep tight, everyone.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Unchained from the Content Nazis! Yes! Episode 31! Happy Halloween, everybody! We have made it! It is the end! The finale! I have survived so far! And, oh my god, has it been a struggle today. Oh my goodness, I am going to sleep the sleep of the dead after this. Oh, yes. Anyways, coming off of last night's Hammer Classic Horror of Dracula, I thought I am going to review a movie that I have claimed to be the best of the series. It was my favorite for a long time, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, it's been probably over 10 years since I've seen this film. In fact, I haven't seen many of the the Nightmare on Elm Street movies for quite a long period of time. In fact, when I did a review, what was it, like a couple years ago, for the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, doing A Nightmare on Elm Street, that was the first time I've watched that in, like I said, 10 or so years. So I was wondering, and I was curious, would I still consider it my favorite? And honestly, I'm going to have to watch them all again. I'm going to have to marathon this thing. I'm going to have to shotgun it. But I was also wondering if it was still going to hold up after all this time. After all, tastes can change, my opinions of movies can change, and, you know, the march of time does strange things to us. So I was curious to see if I was still going to enjoy it, and I'm still curious if it's going to be considered my favorite. So that movie, of course, is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. And here is my Blu-ray collection of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. All of them through A New Nightmare. Yes, it doesn't have Freddy vs. Jason, which could be considered part of it. And let me just come out and straight up say it. I might have to watch the remake again. Ugh. But to me, all of these movies are way better than that remake. That remake was soulless, in my opinion. But anyway, so let's get into the one that we are talking about tonight, though. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. So what is it about? Well, we start off with a young girl who is making a papier-mâché house. That seems awfully familiar. Anyways, she's struggling to stay awake. And, of course, her mom shows up and tells her, you gotta turn that darn music down, and you gotta get to bed. Of course, she gets to bed, and she appears to wake up in the middle of the night, goes to the bathroom, except the bathroom attacks her. Yes, the faucet handles grab her, and the other turns into a claw and cuts her wrist. Of course, we go back to non-dream world, and the mother opens up the bathroom and sees her daughter with her wrist slit and her holding the bloody razor. So, of course, she gets sent to a psychiatric institution where apparently there are a bunch of other kids who are also I guess, considered dangerous, in danger of committing suicide, and are having bad dreams. In fact, they're all dreaming about the same figure. A man who wears a fedora with a badly burned face and a claw hand. Yes, Freddy Krueger is back, and he is hunting these kids ever so viciously. But there is hope. A new, I guess what they call their intern, but a new intern has showed up, and her name is Nancy, and she has some experience with this type of thing. So will Nancy be able not only win over the doctors, who are very skeptical about this dream thing, monster actually existing and is not just some shared delusion, will she be able to convince the doctors and save the kids from the wrath of Freddy Krueger? So let's get into those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am giving a 3 out of 5. Look, it is definitely not a splatter fest all over the place. It is not a super ultra bloody movie. There are some nasty parts, like the sleep puppet thing. I mean, that's kind of disgusting. You got a decapitation. It happens off screen though, but we do get to see the aftermath, which is nice. There is a bit of blood, but honestly, it is not super high up there. But definitely, I would say above average. So 3 out of 5. There's some really good kills in this movie. Kills that I consider to be quite iconic, especially "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch." You know, and of course this sleepwalk kill was one of the niceties in this movie. And yeah, so 3 out of 5. Shock value, I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. This movie does have a weird, eerie feel to it. It feels familiar. It feels like it was hearkening back to the first Nightmare on Elm Street. It wasn't just jump in and Freddy's there and he's killing people. No, he takes his time and creates this sort of unease feeling. It's like he's playing around and toying around, and it's not until a little bit later in the movie do we finally get him like slicing and dicing and ending them here and there. Anyways, so yeah, this of course creates the opportunity for a good few jump scares that hit kind of nicely. 2.5 out of 5. Acting, I am going to give this a 3. Oh, sorry, plot. My bad. Plot 3.5 out of 5. I just love the concept of this. That not only share dreaming, but people who have powers within their dreams. You've got the guy who becomes like super strong. You've got the badass chick with the mohawk. You've got the guy who is crippled but can walk and uses wizard powers. And honestly, I like that idea. I like the idea of fighting Freddy Krueger as a team, using these powers, taking the fight to him. Because you didn't really get that. You kind of had like the idea of getting him out of the dream in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and you didn't really get like this. It was always battling mano a mano, and the fact that you have a team and that you're working together definitely turns the story differently and actually produces much more possibilities in the narrative. Now, of course, I feel that it's not a perfect script. It's not a perfect plot. There are some problems with it. Some of the characters, they're just kind of there so that they can get killed. And the way that Freddy dispatches with some of them are rather just too easy, I would think. That they did not put up as much of a fight as I would have wanted them to. But then we probably would have had a much longer movie. But yeah, so there's a little bit of disappointment that some of the Dream Warriors were more flash and show than actual combat ready. So there's that. But still, I like the idea. It does something a bit different. It still stays creepy and eerie. It is not over the top like what happens in part 4 and 5 and 6. Freddy Krueger, yes, he does spout one-liners, and I do love him for that. But in this movie, he's still a sinister, frightening figure, and he's not a spoof of himself yet. He's not like just the old like wisecracking. How could you be afraid of this guy? He's kind of a comedian type of guy. No, he still has that sinister feel around him, and he does, like I said, he doesn't just come straight out and kill people. He messes with people. He plays around with them. He's having fun while doing this, and there are the creativity within the kills, and yes, there is setup. Some of them, of course, pretty quick, but there is setup. There is tension to be built in there, and that is a great thing. So 3.5 out of 5. So we're going to acting now. Acting is 3 out of 5. Look, some of the performances are kind of uneven. Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, I love her, but some of her delivery in this movie is a bit flat and kind of uninspired, and I don't know why exactly it is, but it's very uneven. Generally, she does a good job in this movie, but there were times where I'm like going, okay, wow, what happened there? Everyone else in the movie, they're fine. You got Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie. They call him Larry Fishburne, but he does a great job. You've got some callbacks from the first one, which are very nice. So yeah, 3 out of 5. Like I said, there are some unevens, some ridiculousness in there, but overall, still pretty dang good. Nudity, we are going to have a 0.5 out of 5. It's an iconic thing now, the nurse scene, and the nurse is very, very beautiful. The part where she goes, "Do you like my body?" I'm like, yes, I do. But yeah, there's just not a lot of it. It happens so briefly, and but say, I'm still happy they did it and they put it there. It's great. 0.5 out of 5, and also it is important to the plot. It is important to the plot because she needs to be basically getting the guy to drop his guard and become vulnerable and whatever, so that he can be tricked into being caught by Freddy Krueger. Anyways, so 0.5 out of 5. Enjoyment factor is a 4 out of 5. I still like this movie a lot. I still think it's better than the first one. I'm going to have to rewatch, 2, 4, 5, 6, and whatever, again. However, it's still solid. I really like the narrative. The kills in there are still iconic. The ending is interesting. It adds to the Freddy Krueger lore by the nun and the mysterious circumstances of Freddy Krueger's conception, and it adds elements to the whole narrative arc of Freddy Krueger, and it's got that kind of that beginning where you're just like, this is you're so used to saying oh, how does he come back? But he's just back, and they don't really explain that, and I think that's great. I think they introduced Hypnosol or whatever, Hypnol. I forgot what it's called, but it was the drug that allows you to sleep without dreams that was used later on in Freddy vs. Jason. So very important movie. I think it was definitely before the series got really ridiculous. So anyways, 4 out of 5. Really like it. My overall impression, though, is a 3.5 out of 5. It's a solid film, but it definitely feels dated in a lot of aspects. The TV, of course, and the music, and the way, they characters interact, or the very 80s situation, but also the effects are a bit dated. There was a lot of stop motion, especially in the junkyard scene, and some of that just kind of looks a little cheesy. I know they were limited in what they had to do, and unfortunately they don't quite, age as well as other effects. And so unfortunately, that gets a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm checking out. But overall, though, still a very solid film. One that I definitely enjoy a lot. And yeah, it's pretty dang good. So 3.5 out of 5 overall impression. And my average score, that averages out to 2.9 out of 5. Still like it after all these years. Still had fun with it. Still entertaining. Did not find any parts to be... In fact, it was a great, refreshing revisit because I had kind of forgotten some of the things in this movie, and it's rediscovering them again gave me some new appreciation for it. So there you have it! Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, The Dream Warriors. And, yeah, we have reached the end. Episode 31 is done in the books. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Did you see A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors? Tell me in the comments, do you agree with me? Do you think it's the best? Or do you think, no, the first one will always be the best? Or no, you idiots, Freddy's dead. The final nightmare is the best ever. Or maybe it's a new nightmare. I mean, the new nightmare did something different, and it was quite interesting. But anyways, leave a comment in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever. And, oh my goodness, it is the end. And so, as it is tradition with my Crystal Skull vodka, that is no longer, well, it's Crystal Head vodka, but it's no longer Crystal Head. I had to put some Kettle One in there. Oh, no way. But anyways, it's still vodka. So I gotta pop the cork here. And I got myself, it's a Salsa tequila shot glass, but whatever. May the alcohol gods forgive me. So let's get a shot of the old vodka here. Smells like rubbing alcohol, but I guess that's like the purity of the vodka there. I mean, honestly, Kettle One was some good shit. I haven't been drinking it as often, but then again, you shouldn't be drinking too much anyways, kids. But I would like to thank everyone who's joined me on this journey, allowed me to share my love of horror movies, to share some unique and also well-known movies from the past, the present, and the distant past in some cases. And hopefully I've been exposed to some new things, and hopefully you've been exposed to some new things, and you will go out and check some of these videos in the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. But until next year, my friends, happy Halloween. You guys stay scary, internet, and don't be afraid to go to sleep, because oh my god, I'm going to be sleeping. I'm going to be sleeping like a baby after this. Holy crap. But anyways, I've already had some trick-or-treaters in the house already, giving out the candy. Hopefully you'll have a safe night. Have fun, your parties, your festivities, watch some scary movies, and remember, Halloween season doesn't have to end on October 31st. You can always watch scary horror movies, and you can always get your fix for horror movies from me. I've got 180, whatever, 100 something plus videos of reviews, so you can find something that you will like. And yeah, so here's cheers, and here's to another year of frightful fun and frantic, I lost my alliteration, I'm tired, I don't know. But here's to everyone, and thank you very much. Salut, kampai, slancha, cheers, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Oh, it burns. But it burns nice. Yep. But it's smooth. See, you're not like, or you're like, but it's definitely making my mouth water. So, anyways, good night, everyone. I will see you next time.